Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. On today's Days of Our Lives, Philip double-checks that Kate believes he's in the know about Vivian forging the letter to Victor. Vivian verifies she is, and assures Philip that his mom won't be any problem. Philip doubts it, but Vivian vows that his mom caved after they talked, and she offered money and power. Philip clenches his fists in annoyance as Vivian speaks to him in their room. Vivian asks about how things went with Xander, and Philip pledges he'll handle his brother. He's concerned about his mom, though. Vivian reassures him that Kate is in their corner and they both concur he's the true heir to Victor. She then feigns a headache and tells him to get his mother an analgesic. "You're not actually my mother." In the pub, Kate flashes back to Vivian pledging to cut her in with Titan money going to body and soul. Shortly after, she turns up at the police station to report a crime to Jada. One of Salem's most notorious criminals is in town. She then, with no small amount of satisfaction, informs Jada about Vivian. After the cop runs off, she calls Philip and tells him she needs to speak to him. Now, Rafe comes home from physical therapy as Gabi's going through her divorce paper. He's sorry it actually went through, her misgivings and all. But then he realizes she hasn't signed, at which point she makes an excuse about the pens having no ink. Rafe tests one out, realizes she's making excuses and tells her to speak to Stefan. Gabi awkwardly talks while Rafe stares at her and Javi stands with his arms crossed in their home. Just then, Javi comes dancing into the room to Rafe's happy astonishment and the cousins greet each other. He asks why Gabi didn't mention he was visiting, and Javi's response is, "Didn't Gabi tell you? I'm here to remain. I'm moving in." Gabi explains that Rafe and Jada were asleep when they came back from the bar drowning her divorce sorrows, and Rafe tells him there's plenty of room for him. They then move to talk about Rafe receiving his aunt's engagement ring, but when he asks where it is, Javi holds up his hand. "It's right here, primo." He says he tried it on and it fits so well, he believes he might keep it. They dispute good-naturedly a bit about the ring, but then Rafe says he was planning on giving it to someone. He wishes to propose to Jada. Fine, Javi concedes, that's romantic. Gabi joyously congratulates Rafe, who says he's been thinking of it ever since coming out of his coma. And there's no time like the present to propose. After he leaves, Javi requests for the tea on Jada. In short, she's fabulous, you'll love her. They make a beautiful couple and Rafe deserves happiness after 3 unsuccessful marriages. A record which she's about to surpass. Brady clutches his hand to his chest as he gives Tate a pep talk in the living room. At home, Tate informs his dad about Holly's visit and apology. Brady, though, can tell that Tate isn't positive about getting back together. So the teen haltingly confesses that he slept with another girl. When did this happen? His dad questions. Tate confesses it was last night, in their home and with Sophia. But he feels guilty because he believed things with Holly were over. Brady asks Tate what he desires, and while he doesn't regret sleeping with Sophia, he likes Holly more. Brady interprets that as his son wanting to get back with Holly, but Tate realizes he just slept with Sophia, and who does that, then ditches them the next day. Brady doesn't have easy answers, but says Tate isn't doing Sophia any favors by remaining with her out of guilt or obligation. With that said, Ava told Brady that Sophia has very intense feelings for Tate. In the end, he can't get out of this without harming someone. So he has to be honest with himself. And with Holly and Sophia, including coming candid about sleeping with Sophia. It'll be hard, but Brady believes in him and adores him. Oh, and, if you ever invite a girl to sleep over and don't ask my permission, you are super grounded. Holly speaks dismissively to Sophia in the square. Holly runs into Sophia in the square where they exchange a few barbs before Sophia says there's something her frenemy, or just flat-out enemy at this point, should know about her and Tate. All she says, though, is that she and Tate were hanging out while Holly was abroad. Old news. Tate already told Holly, and she told him she wishes to get back together. They fight over whether Tate should ever forgive Holly, who says Tate seemed fairly cool about her. but she admits he didn't accept her back, just yet. They then quarrel some more over who's the biggest social media stalker. But before they part, Sophia says there's something else to contemplate. Before she can share the news about sleeping with him, Sophia's mom calls and Holly leaves her in a huff. Philip cheerfully welcomes Kate in the pub, only for her to chide him for sneaking into town again without telling her. And now he's in league with her avowed enemy? So does the crypt keeper know that you came to see me? She doesn't, so Kate says she needs to tell him something, but Philip beats her to the whole letter-forging business. She hates to admit it, but Vivian is correct and Philip should be running Titan. Dazed Kate looks at Philip with an exasperated glance while they speak at a table in the pub. But now that Vivian has fulfilled her purpose, she needs to go. Philip says he can't get rid of her, it was her idea. Oh, honey, don't worry about that. I already took care of it. Philip's impressed that Kate lied to Vivian, probed her for information and turned her in. His mom admits that Kate Roberts contemplated scheming, but Mrs. Roman Brady wouldn't do that. Over at the inn, Jada bursts into Vivian's room and arrests her. Vivian just shakes her head. Vivian knows the shtick, and it doesn't take long to discover Kate turned her in. Holly's checking her phone at the Kiriakis' mansion when Tate turns up. He wishes to get back together and he forgives her. Holly's overjoyed right up until he tells her about his night with Sophia. You slept with Sophia? I believe I'm going to be sick. He then shifts course and says he wishes to be with Holly, but has to see where things go with Sophia. He apologizes some more and slinks out. Dazed Holly grips her stomach in horror as Tate looks concerned in the Kiriakis' living room. More, check out the Ultimate Season 60 preview. In the show's final moments, Javi tells Gabby he's still rooting for her and Stefan, and obviously so is she since she hasn't signed. But no, she has to confront that her marriage is done. Javi tells her to speak to Stefan face to face. They divert a bit to speak about Mateus who he almost married, but then get back to her talking to Stefan. And now's an opportune time to do it. Kate promises she won't rat Philip out. He merits the company, and don't worry about Vivian. She won't stir things up because she can't risk adding fraud to her charges. Dazed Jada checks her phone as a handcuffed Vivian sullenly observes. Rafe gets to the station, but doesn't see Jada. Over at the Salem Inn, Vivian demands a counsel, but as Jada's escorting her out, Rafe calls. He asks if she wants a bite after she comes back, then when he finds out who she's arresting, warns Jada to be careful. Just then, on the other end of the line, Rafe hears Jada shouting and a gunshot.